right. I'm testing a new battery generator, so know if my lights for night markets will stay on, uh, longer than just like a few hours, and I don't lose sales again. Anyway, so this is the New York Comic Con 2025 recap vlog dealing majig. Um, so this year is a little bit different because in this economy. So this year I was not approved of my professional pass. I mean, it's happened in the past. They kind of, I don't know, like whatever they feel like, whether I am a professional or not, and sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not, whatever. Like I don't, is what it is, right? And usually if I don't get it, my buddy and I will still get like a 4 day, whole weekend pass and whatever not, and then we'll do our thing that we usually do anyway. The only difference is, professional pass costs less, and then also there's like a specific like lounge area you could sit at. So instead of just like trying to find somewhere to sit, you're like, okay, you have somewhere you can like take a breather or whatever. Really, there's some other perks of with like networking with people, because again there's specific areas to go to. At the same time, most people don't want to really fuck with me. So this year, because of the economy, because I'm still reeling from last year with whatever emergency I had with my house, so I'm like, I couldn't afford a whole weekend pass, so I had to get just Saturday, Sunday, type of shit. So we just went for, like I said, Saturday, Sunday, had one costume, didn't do like 1,000 costumes like we normally do. And so it was fine, ran into our usual friends and whatever not. But like I said, what was different this year was like normally in like the big like River Pavilion thing, it's the Cosplay Central. Again, that's usually where like the industry, whatever, pro lounges, yada huda ha, and there's some other like smaller like panel thing that usually happens there. So, but this year up there was like the pro thing, da da da. Also, it was like content creator lounge. So normally, you go up the escalator, yada yada. But this time, people were there like checking badges, and I was like, what the fuck? Turns out they moved Cosplay Central down to where like the gaming area was, but like towards the back in like a small room, and it was like, what the fuck? We didn't even have time to like check out the cos. We always check out the cosplay thing because it's right there. Like you walk in, go up the escalators, it's right there. The fact that my bestie was dressed as Cyborg, we got stopped a lot. And again we were doing it for 2 days, so like normally when it's 4 days, it's like Thursday is like the day where we just kind of like we do like the most like chill costume. We use it to like walk around, find talk to our friends. It's a more chiller day. Thursdays usually are. Excuse me. You talk to your friends. Maybe even do some shopping. But because we hit the ground running on Saturday, we're just like, okay, we gotta find our friends. Okay, oh god, everyone wants a picture of us. Okay, and then we do that, and then like, but we would take our breathers. We're like outside, and I mean technically we were close enough where we could have went down there, but we didn't know we were near it after day one because we were just confused that we couldn't go upstairs. We're like, why can't we go upstairs? And I was like, it just says like content creator lounge. We're like, okay, so right. So then that night I had to look where it was for Sunday, and then Sunday, because it's kids day and it's like big family day and tons more pictures were taken of us wherever I will find them. If people post them, if someone, I hand out cards all the time, so who knows if someone wants to, anyone processing their photos anytime soon. But anyway, yeah, so it got really busy, and then by the end of it, we're just like kind of tired. I was wearing my freaking goth boots, so my legs were like sore like fuck. Like those boots are fine, and I walk with, ran in them, da da da, and they're fine. But after like 2 long days of like being in costume and like fucking 8 hours practically, walking a con up and down stair, all that stuff. I mean, we didn't really do many stairs because Paul's costume didn't really warrant stairs being something easily done unless it was like escalators turned stairs. We usually just found as many times as we can just using the escalator. Normally we're just like, yeah, let's fucking take the stairs. But anyway, so that was like the main thing that was kind of like different this year. So it was kind of like it was kind of a little shitty that they were like, oh man, once they started doing content creator passes, and they were like, oh no no no, fuck you cosplayer, we're gonna put this spot with all this beautiful natural lighting for the content creators, but then we'll also provide them a fuck ton of ring lights, and it's like, okay, so are you gonna use the natural lighting or are you gonna use the ring lighting? Like, which one is it? Do you not know how lighting works? If you're filming content all the fucking time, you would hope you would know how any of that stuff's done, but whatever. What do I fucking know? I'm just some asshole who makes costumes all the time. Anyway, so that was really like the most I would say the downside to the con this year was like them kind of doing that, because it seemed kind of little like kind of fucked up. I was gonna use like a nicer word, but I'm like, yeah, just kind of disrespectful. Anyway, so besides that, like I said, we didn't take many pictures ourselves. Most of the pictures I have are of my friends taking pictures of us, and we went to the DC photo shoot on Sunday, and it was in like this weird little nook corner thing. So I thought they were gonna have us like in the corner, so have like this nice kind of like semicircle in a sense of people, but they're like, no, go against the wall, go against the geometric structure. And then like whomever the organizers are, I mean, I get it. I don't think any of this is easy. It's just that both of them had megaphones, but the megaphones also weren't loud enough. Everyone's standing around not knowing what's going on. So until like it was just like if one person heard it, like when they were like, "Oh, we're doing Metropolis," all of a sudden you saw like a bunch of Supermans like come in. Then you're like, "Oh, okay, okay." Then other people are like, "Oh, I'm in that costume. Let's go." Or like Gotham. Oh, okay. It took a second. Then they did like after the big picture. Then yeah, they did like Metropolis, Gotham. Then they did they put Teen Titans and Suicide Squad together. That was a very weird. Like, why did you do that? Because they also did Young Justice, and it's like, well, you could have just done Young Justice, and then done Suicide Squad. You know what I mean? Because then Young Justice has more than just whatever's in Teen Titans. And then I think there was, I forgot what the last. Oh no, there was like Bat Family. And then that was it. And what also sucked, again, I'm not shitting on the people who organize it, all that stuff. I'm just kind of critiquing and giving kind of pointers, because besides having issues hearing, because of course the con itself is loud, the megaphones are just like, and you're like, okay, that's not helping, because you have one person who has like a higher, I guess you would say, feminine voice, and it was like, and you got like a dude who was just like, and you're like, what is it? I don't know. Again, I'm loud. I'd be like, all right, let's fuck it, just trying to be helpful. Anyway, besides that, they also didn't like. It was like, it's like you didn't know when the picture is getting taken, because obviously everyone's taking, there's a fuck ton of like professional photographers, amateur photographers, people with their phones, people in general just taking pictures, and no one really did like a countdown. And when they did do a countdown, it was like for the end of the shoot, because while you're there posing or whatever you're doing, people would kind of get moved around, so you're like, are we ready yet, because I kept trying to like nudge DePaul, like, pull out your light cannon, like, come on, get the light cannon out. And he was just kind of like he was like waiting for the cue to be like, boom. But then when he was like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and he's like, yeah, he finally pulls it out, and then everyone starts dispersing, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? It's like a little bit more of that, because again, it's like there's so many people, and it's like very like, wind tunnel, like, what kind of thing. That's my main issue, and I think the main issue because of that is that weird spot it was in. Unlike last year, wherever they got the Marvel shoot, it was a much larger space too, and it wasn't that close to the dealer's room, so like when people projected, it was like, okay, you can hear them. It wasn't like you're shouting over, the dealer's, like the dealer's room that's like right above our head, and then a bunch of people like coming in and out with the escalator. It was crazy. I don't know why they chose that as a spot for meetups. I later realized, like, obviously, we weren't there Thursday or Friday, but there was a shoot on Saturday, and like the lower area, like near the food court, and I was like, oh, like maybe that would have been better for us because we could have heard and anyway, again, that's just I'm not like fuck them or anything. Ow! As I hit myself in the head with my floppy light. Like I said, I'm not saying fuck them. They do the DC photo people like that group. They do it every year. I'm not it's not shitting on them. I'm just kind of like I just couldn't hear anything, and I also was just like just standing there like posing and just being like because they'll be like, look at this person, this is the main photographer. So you're like, okay, I'm looking here. And then, kind of like a red carpet thing where people are like, over here, oh, look over here. And you're like, huh, what? It's just very like wall of sound type of thing. I didn't buy anything this year because, again, in this economy. But I love that I got a bunch of compliments about my little Trader Joe's bag. Because we stopped by Trader Joe's before heading into, like, the city for the con and all that stuff. And they had their, I guess, seasonal bags. And I was like, okay, I'll get one of these. It's $2.99. And I jokingly was like, you know what? I should get like a pile of these, limited 4 or whatever, and get a bunch of these and then sell it, like in Asia or something. Because they go ham for it. Also, I love that there's like the little pockets here. Perfect spot for me to put my business cards because it was great because people would take pictures and be like, let me get a card. Oh my god, it was so easy. Oh, blessed. Like I said, I don't really... Oh, that's the envelope. The passes came with my address, so let's not do that. Yeah, so that's the Sunday pass. This is a lanyard given by my buddies at Con Culture Podcast. Cosplay is for everybody. Yeah, we met them last year, and then this year we were like, oh, I hope we see them again. And then like we did, and we were chatting for a bit. I don't know if whatever thing we filmed with them will come out or will be part of it. It's fine. They're really cool people. I got a catalog for shoes because these are the people that do the... They put out like the newest shoe, which is like Starfleet, which is pretty fucking awesome. I mean, these shoes look pretty cool. Like these are some like kind of crazy like heels they got going on. I don't know. I'll follow them and probably never buy a pair of shoes because holy shit. Hold on, I can see that one. Because usually if it's like women's sizes, they're like, here's a size 8. That's the largest we have. And I'm here with like Bigfoot and I'm like, cool, that's really nice. I love, stuff. Someone gave me, this was, oh god. Oh, the dust. Anyway, this was someone's business card, which I think that's kind of cool. It's on a keychain. The DC business card. Went to the Sanrio frickin' this booth. Another business card from someone who took photos of mainly Paul, which is fine. Again, I'm fine with that. He was the showpiece this year. I guess they'll contact me whenever. I'm guessing that it's a playing card. This person's a content creator. We filmed like a silly thing where they're like, tell me who your problematic fave is. I said like Dexter Morgan, because I kept it I kept it fictional because I was gonna say, some real life people. I'm like, let's not do that. Other cosplayer, another person. Yeah. So, usually you hand a card and then someone's like, oh, I have a card too. Oh, this person also, they provided, they get it in a bag. It's so cute. There was also a piece of candy in there, which is very nice of them. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. That's really all I have. Back in the day, you would like leave with like a huge tote bag of free shit. Like if you look at like my eBay page and like you see all like those random like little posters or whatever shit I'm selling, that's from like years ago of doing New York Comic Con. Like you'd go and they're like, oh, do you want like there's this movie that's coming out here, want free posters? And I'd be like, thanks. And I had them for the longest time, and I was just obviously when I was deep cleaning my home during lockdown, I was like, well, might as like I don't need these anymore. I might as well frickin' sell them or whatever not. But yeah, like I said, New York Comic Con this year, it was fun. It just it came and went because for us it was only just like a 2-day thing. These lights are starting to get really warm on my neck. Well, it's going strong. It's still on. But yeah, like I said, like I don't know, I filled out my survey telling them that it was kind of effed up that, they moved to Cosplay Central, so who knows if someone will be ever getting a professional pass ever again for being far too opinionated, as always. But yeah, of course, I'll have my Raven makeup video later and all that stuff. But yeah, like I said, New York Comic Con was fine. Oh, actually, let me go. So, 10 years ago, when we first did this costume, like, it was more little kids running up to us, mainly Paul, to be like, oh my god, Cyborg, Cyborg, right? Like, when we went to Chicago, it was insane. We literally had children, like, run and, like, practically just, like, grab onto Paul, and they're like, Cyborg! That kind of stuff. Now, I realize, it's been 10 years later, it's mostly adults who are like, oh my god, Cyborg, not a lot of kids who are like, I don't know who the fuck you are, because 10 years ago, Teen Titans Go was huge. Now it's like, people are older, and even if they're younger, they're still technically adults. And I was telling Paul, I was like, those are probably the people they were babies then, and 10 years later, they're, like, 18, 19, because they were like 9-year-old kids then, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm old. Like, I'm old. So they saw Paul, and they're like, oh my god, booyah, that kind of shit. So, I mean, it was great. Like I said, everyone loved him. His leg armor there was a little bit of wonkiness the first day. Second day, I figured out how to zhuzh it better. But either way, no one was like, hey, that sucks, fuck you. People loved it, so that's all that matters. But yeah, so, like I said, that's New York Comic Con. This light is very hot around my neck now. I'm sweltering. Ugh! Okay. Alright, Jesus. Alright. I'm gonna take off this hoodie now. Alright, yeah.